one thing you battle with, you're gonna lose every time, is the weather. But never mind that, child, because we still about to get on with these reaction videos. Hello, you guys. If you are new here, my name is Shaneria, and this is Talking Crime. And yeah, occasionally, I will say almost all the time, I talk with my hands. But never mind that. If you like that type of content, meaning reaction videos, hit that subscribe button, join the family. And if you are returning, I really appreciate you guys. I'm happy y'all here. I'm happy y'all subscribed. And I'm happy that y'all helping me with my watch hours and y'all part of the family. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on today's reaction video.
Sometimes you can't question why things happen. They just do. I'm about to be 25 next month, God willing. And today I finally got the courage to text my dad and tell him that I will never be contacting him again. Because he isn't there for me. From the point I was born, I had two parents, a mom and a dad. When I was like 7, things didn't work out between them. They got a divorce. They tried to make it work again after the divorce. It didn't. After that, my dad had countless girlfriends. Only one ended up being like really serious, and then they broke up. And then he got remarried to my stepmom, who is like a mom to me. So from that point, I endured so much. I went through so much. I seen shit that I shouldn't have seen at a young age. I had to put up with shit that I shouldn't have put up with as a child. And that shaped me into who I am today. Now, there was a situation that happened in high school where my dad put his hands on me for the first time ever. And that is the moment where true fear for a man developed. Because I never had a reason to be scared of men until that happened. So shortly after that, I ended up getting kicked out. And from that point, I met my best friend in the 7th grade, and her family took me in with open arms. Wait, because I'm about to cry. Her family took me in with open arms. And I'm absolutely forever grateful and blessed that they did so, because if it not had been for them, I wouldn't even be here still. This is going to sound absolutely terrible, but I have to say it. I've been like fighting with this for a while now. I had to deal with my mom, my biological mom, who didn't want me or any of my siblings. She just didn't really want kids. So I had to process that. I had to deal with that. The person who carried me for 9 months wanted nothing to do with me. The one person who I can't help but feel a connection to and crave it so bad wants nothing to do with me. And now I have to deal with that from my dad as well. I'm just trying to figure out where I went wrong as a kid to have both parents disown me when I've done nothing but try to just be everything that they want me to be. That I don't even know who I am as a person. And it really affects my day-to-day life. And I'm on Lexapro. I don't think that dosage is high enough. But also, if you didn't know, Lexapro, one of the side effects is increased suicidal thoughts. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, I feel so bad for you. Da-da-da. I'm only saying this for awareness because I know that there are other people out there who's going through a similar situation, and they're probably questioning like what's wrong with them and why don't their parents love them? And it's nothing. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you at all. It has everything to do with the parent who became a parent too early, who became a parent when they weren't ready. So don't blame yourself. This is actually amazing closure for me because now I can live my life in peace. That the text he sent me was, if that's how you feel, I love you. And that was it. So I blocked him shortly after that because that just told me everything I needed to know. And I never would have thought that I would have to do that. And I'm sitting here crying because I don't want to talk to him, and I don't want to talk to anybody else in my family, which sounds so wrong because they didn't do anything to me, but I cannot be in the same environment, and I can't talk to people who condoned what he did to me, I can't. I can't. And it hurts. Because I love my siblings. I love my stepmom. But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. So now that I've gotten that closure that I need, I am going to peacefully start living my life, because now I know that the family that I had to build for myself, people I'm not related to in any way, shape, or form, I can focus on them. I know that the love that I give them is going to be given back. So don't question why certain things happen in a toxic household. If you make it out, it was for a reason. And sometimes connections have to be severed temporarily until there's a stable connection. And so that's pretty much how my days went. And I was supposed to have been sent that text, but I was never in the right mental state. And today, everything mentally was just not going right for me. So I was like, I need to send this text, because I cried all the way home thinking about it. Thinking about how my kids will probably not even know their grandfather. So yeah, everything happens for a reason, and you may not know why it happens until later on in life. So, and having to send that type of text is really, it's a lot. It takes a lot out of you. So I'm going to talk to my therapist tomorrow, and I'm going to try to work through this the best way that I know how. But if you're going through it, you're not alone, because it's a lot of us out here going through this. So yeah.
This is heartbreaking for many of people that deals with this. a lot of us take it for granted because we haven't experienced like a lot of stuff like this. But what I can say is, from what I done heard a lot, because I haven't experienced this, I experienced two loving parents that literally loves me and never regretted having me. So for those people that are experiencing something like this is why I do videos like this, because somebody out there needs to know that they are not the only ones that feel this way or even going through this type of stuff. And they just don't want a therapist like other people or whatnot. But I'm happy that she getting the therapy she needs, and maybe her therapist is telling her to separate herself from everybody, even the people that have nothing to do with how she feel right now, just to get herself together. But in my opinion, I feel like, yes, you are, their sister or a daughter-in-law or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, this is between you and your father. And just like you had no control, your siblings have no control over him either, and they probably have a different experience with him than you do. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, I don't feel like that the siblings should be, put on the back burner with the father, because they have no control over what he do, what he allow, and what he don't allow when it comes to you in his relationship. Of course, like, you want to get yourself together, I understand that, but also to me it creates trauma for your siblings too, because now they looking at it like, dang, my sister want nothing to do with me and I'm not the one that hurt her. Hopefully in the future it could be, talked to with the siblings so they can better understand, while you put them also on a back burner just to get yourself together. I don't knock what you're doing, to the storyteller. I don't knock what you're doing, but I suggest you also get yourself together, regardless of like how it looked like for other people. If you feel like you need to separate yourself from other people that have anything to do with your parents, then so be it. Get yourself together.
Okay. Story time about how my dad is not who I thought he was. So my parents got divorced when I was like 7, maybe even younger than that, and they always tried to make the relationship work out, but it just did not work. Somewhere in between that time of it not working, before we moved out with my dad, we stayed with my grandma for like a year, and then after that we moved back in. They tried to make the relationship work again. It didn't work. So then my dad like had multiple girlfriends, and those girlfriends didn't work out. He had one girlfriend where it worked out for about 9 years, maybe longer, and then that didn't work out and they broke up. So then he met my stepmom. This is where it gets crazy. I was always told that when they met, she was 25. I know, you're probably like, 25? How old is your dad? He's almost 50. He's almost 50. I think he'll be like 48 this year. I don't know, because he doesn't celebrate my birthday. I don't celebrate his. So, didn't find out that she was 25. He was always telling us that she was 25. So I thought she was 25 when we first met. They first met when I was like a sophomore in high school. So I was maybe 15, 16. So fast forward, my dad then decides he wants to be Muslim. And to correct that term, the first term he used was Hebrew Israelite. He said, y'all don't have to do it, I'm doing it, whatever. I said, okay, cool. So then he started saying that we had to do it. And so to circle back, he met my stepmom on Instagram. She flew down here to be with him. They got married within maybe a few weeks of her being down here. So then she started moving in. I love my stepmom down bad. Never had no bad blood with her. She real cool. I love her. Okay. So then they've been together until this moment. Like they're still together. They're still married. They then had 3 kids. Okay. So I have 3 younger siblings, and, before, like, they had all of my younger siblings when I got kicked out. Let's rewind. I got kicked out at 18 because my sister told me that no one loved me, no one cared about me, and everybody was ready for me to leave. So then I had said something back to her, and I don't remember what I said because I was mad. Like, why would you say that to me? And so she said that. I said something back to her. Next thing I know, my stepmom's come to me and she told me, you got to find a place to stay because you're not going to stay here and disrespect my other kids. I said, okay, cool. Because at this point, I'm done fighting. I'm done arguing. I don't know what the hate is. Rewind further back before I graduated high school. Me and my dad and my stepmom used to get into it every day. And the only reason me and my stepmom got into it was because of my dad. So me and my dad got into it every day. And then one day, one of my friends at the time was having a birthday party. I was like, can I stay the night at her house? My stepmom's like, yeah. And I said, make sure you clear it with dad, because if you don't clear it with him, it's going to be a problem. She said, don't worry, I'm going to clear it. I go to school that day. I go home with my friend. I'm at her house. I'm chilling for a couple hours. My dad starts blowing my phone up, asking me where I'm at. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was like, I'm at my friend's house. Like, you know, I'm at my friend's house. I already cleared this with mom. And he was like, this is his words. He said, you're my kid. She can't tell you what you can and can't do. Excuse me. I thought that because y'all were married and because when she came here, you said that we had to do whatever she says. I'm doing what she's telling me to do. And now you have a problem with it. So then I'm like, bro, like, you already, like, I don't understand why you're tripping. I'm at my friend's house. You know about this. I already talked to mom about it. So I'm not coming home. So then he goes, you're so disrespectful. I'm going to ship you off to your real mom. I should have shipped you off to your real mom. And he always uses that as a threat. And so I'm like, at this point, I'm annoyed. I'm like, all right, girl, I'm gonna just go home because my dad's tripping, like, whatever, woo woo. So then, fast forward, I get home. I low-key told the Uber to wait a little bit because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna get kicked out. And my friend already said I could come back to her house. So if you could just wait a little bit. They was like, yeah, like, we just want to make sure you're safe. So I go in the house, tense. It's tense in there. I remember, I think my brother or my sister was doing dishes. Someone was in the living room. My mom was in the living room. And my other sister was like at the kitchen table. My dad comes to the back. He's like, oh, like, he goes on this whole rant about how I'm just so disobedient, so disrespectful, so this, so that. Then he goes to say, you know, they used to kill kids and disobedient kids in the Old Testament. Goes to his room, comes back out with a long ass katana, holds that shit up to my neck. And it's like, I could kill you right now if I wanted to. He was like, you cannot stay in my house if you're not going to abide by my rules. I said, word. I get up, I go to my room, I start packing my stuff because I was like, anywhere else than here is a hell of a lot better. So I start packing my stuff up. He comes in the room. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you told me to leave. I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving because I can't do this no more. So then he proceeds to pick me up, throw me on the ground multiple times. I'm screaming for help. I'm trying to claw my way out of my bedroom. So after that happens, he then picks me up again, puts me in the strongest chokehold I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm literally trying to claw my way out. Like, I remember kneeing him in the eye, kicking him in his face, trying to get away from him. And then, like, after the chokehold, he picked me up and threw me against the wall and was like, you're gonna get your karma for treating me like this. You know, God doesn't like disobedient kids. And I'm sitting there terrified. I've never been scared of my dad in my entire life. And I am not scared of that man. He's the first man to ever put his hands on me. Like, this is crazy. So he did all of that just to let me go to my friend's house the next day. And then my friend told me I ruined her birthday because I was just being all poopy and sad. But I mean, had you gotten your ass beat by your dad, how would you feel? I still try to show up and show out for you. I'm sorry that I got my ass beat the previous day, but that's neither here nor there. So after that happened, that's when I decided I gotta get the fuck up out of here, because ain't no way in hell you just did that shit and I'm just supposed to be all fine and dandy with you. Are you serious? So I gotta go back to work, but I will post part 2 when I go on my second break. So just be prepared, because this is a lot.
First of all, at the end of the day, like, you are married. So if she talked to your wife, y'all supposed to talk about this before the wife agreed to anything. And the wife did not do neither one of those things. So why would it be your daughter's fault? I'm real confused, because when she said that her dad was in a relationship for 9 probably plus years, his girlfriend, 9+ years being somebody's girlfriend is crazy work. Yeah, so I mean, to each his own. But yeah, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, so someone asked for a part 2, so my bad. I did upload part 2, but for some odd reason, it didn't upload, so now I have to do it again. But so boom, from when that happened, I started like planning my exit because I was like, I'm not staying there. I don't care. I got to get up out of here. So then I started working. My first job was Zaxby's. I started working at Zaxby's. I didn't save any money from Zaxby's. And then I started working at Walmart, and I didn't save any money from Walmart. So from the time of working at Zaxby's up until my last job, which was McDonald's, from living in the household, my dad hated having to take me to work. He hated having to pick me up from work. So I took Ubers, and sometimes I didn't have enough money for Uber. So he'd be like, okay, well, if I take you to work, you got to give me gas money. I can just call out. This is not that deep. I'm in high school. I also had to buy my own groceries while living with him because he didn't want to buy groceries. He didn't want to include me in the groceries. Now, my stepmom, she still fed me. She still made sure that I was okay. So, it was mainly just him going out of his way to make my life a living hell. And so, I don't remember if I said this in the last video, but towards the end of it, that's when we got into it, and then boom, I moved out. So then I moved out. I tried, well, let me rephrase that. So I actually got kicked out. After I got kicked out, I moved into this place called College Point Apartments. I had no idea on how apartments worked, how they operated. All I had was like, I think maybe $600 to $800. I didn't have a lot of money, so I put what I had down, and the rest of the money went towards what I could get from my apartment as far as like food and stuff like that. So I did have Jalaisha and Luke in London, I believe, help me out when I was moving. But they were the only 3 that helped me. If there was someone else, I just don't remember. So no shade, no nothing. I have terrible memory. So they helped me get situated. I stayed in that apartment for about maybe 2 months before I moved in on campus and started college. Throughout the entire process of college, he would get so mad at me whenever we had to do the FAFSA. Everybody knows that if you're in college, you have to do the FAFSA every single year. So he would get so irritated that we would have to do the FAFSA every single year. He didn't put a dime towards my college. He didn't support me while I was in college. And so I also forgot to mention that they did not show up for my high school graduation. I didn't have nobody show up for me. And that in itself was really fucking sad because that's what I wanted. I mean, they watched me on live stream, but they didn't show up. And my dad's excuse for not showing up was that my mom was pregnant and he didn't want her out in the heat. But our graduation didn't start until night. So I didn't understand the correlation there. I did get to stay out later that night with no type of anything towards me bad. I didn't get home till like maybe 12:01, but I guess he understood at his graduation, so I wasn't going to be back in because I went and got dinner with my friends afterwards. So fast forward to where I am in my senior year of college, and I got cheated on by my boyfriend, and I found out that my dad had gotten into a really bad accident. Between this period of time, I'm constantly trying to rekindle the relationship between me and my dad. I'm always reaching out. I'm always the one trying to keep that communication. Did I reach out and ask my dad for money? But I can count on one hand alone how many times I reached out and asked him for money. And if he tries to say that that's a lie, I literally can come with the receipts. So I don't like to ask my dad for money because there's always a problem when it comes with that. And I never really understood why, because I would see all my friends ask their parents for money and it'd be no big deal. But with him, it was always a big deal. Always, always, always a big deal. And I never really understood that. So, I also was in color guard in high school. There was one point where I wanted to be a cheerleader, and he said, okay, I'm gonna take you to go get your physicals, and he never did. But anyway, that's neither here. So let's get back to the original topic. Now that you got a little bit of background on who my dad is from my point of view, and now I'm going to tell you about what I didn't know growing up. So I call my biological mom. She's telling me all of this information. She goes on to tell me how he cheated on her within the first 2 weeks of them being married. She told me about how I have potentially 2 older siblings out there. She also told me about how my sister is my half-blooded sister and not my full-blooded sister. He disowned the daughter that is fully his while keeping the daughter that was not his. Which I still love my sister down bad. That's my sister from day one. Like nothing's gonna change about that. But the fact that you knew and you kept her from getting to know her actual father is crazy. Now, these are all claims that have been made, but the cherry on top of the tea is the fact that I called my stepmom to tell her about all of this because she deserves better. I don't care. She deserves more than the life that she's getting right now. And I hate that he met her when she was 22. I was 22 2 years ago, and I couldn't imagine being with a man who had 4 kids. He talks up a good game, says, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you. He doesn't even do that shit for his kids. Why the hell would he do it for you? Nothing against my stepmom, okay? She was young. She was trying to get out of a toxic situation herself, and she genuinely believed that she had met her husband. She wanted to do all of these things, but she didn't want to do them until she met her husband. Then she met her husband, and her husband turned out to be shit. That's just what it is. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. So I'm telling her all about what I've just been told. And she told me that he was telling her stories about his, like, what he done in the past, and the name Da Vinci came up. My mom told me that a lady named Da Vinci had a baby by my dad, and my stepmom told me that my dad told her a story about how a lady named Da Vinci shot at him. She shot at you because you got her pregnant and you tried to leave her. That's why she shot at you. If you're going to tell the whole story, tell the full story. Then when my biological mom told him that my sister was not his, he was like, I don't care. She's my daughter regardless of it. Then I found out that when they got in that custody battle and he had to get us DNA tested, he tested everybody but Asia, my sister. He tested everybody but my sister. And I never knew that. He always told us, oh yeah, I got Tesla tested, but she was not mine. But he always said, I got all of y'all tested and y'all came back as mine. But now I'm finding out that you only got 3 of us tested. You didn't get her tested because you knew she wasn't yours. How the court system allowed that to happen, I don't know, but it did. So, oh my God. So then my dad proceeds to have 3 more kids with my stepmom. 3 more kids that he doesn't even take care of. He doesn't even raise. So after finding out all of this information, I was like, I need to talk to my family members. So I make a post on Facebook. I tag who I had on Facebook as my friends, my mom's side of the family. I tagged them. I said, I got questions. I need answers. Y'all reach out to me. I called, my Aunt May. She told me that she did drive my mom up there to see us every single time. My dad would not let her see us. There was also a situation, this is a side topic, but there was also a situation where, my mom had recently came up there to get him to drop a warrant that he had put out on her in 2010, I believe. And he flipped the story and told me that she had came up there showing child support papers from 2001. And he was like, she looked all drugged out and da-da-da-da. And why is she coming up here with these papers? Like, that's how you know her mind not right. And she was like, every single time I go to your dad's house, I bring the police because he has that warrant on me. And I've just been trying to get him to drop it. So you lied. You twisted the story. I wasn't there because I have my own place. So I wasn't there when she showed up. But you lied, twisted the story, called me to tell me the story, and made it sound like it was something that it literally wasn't. So I was like, that's so weird. There was even a time, I don't know if I said this in the previous video, but there was even a time where I remember going with my mom and my dad to go get his hair done, and he took forever in the hair appointment, and he was fucking the girl in the hair appointment. My mom got out the car and she flipped out. It was a whole thing, but I suppressed that memory because obviously it was traumatic. I was young as fuck when that happened. Suppressed that memory, and it now came back up after hearing everybody's side of the story. So then I call Calandra, I believe her name is, and she tells me that she goes on, I forget what she told me, but she told me she confirmed everything that my mom said. She confirmed everything my mom said. She confirmed everything that my stepmom told me. And I'm just like, wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say right now.
Okay, it's a lot going on here. What it seems like to me is the people that wasn't there, the people who was halfway there, the people that was there is now that she's older, telling her all of this old stuff in the past that doesn't really have nothing to do with her, but more so of the relationship they had with her dad. So like, by her already being angry with her dad put his hands on her, and all of that stuff, like, is adding to her trauma. If that makes sense to me, it's adding to her trauma, because at the end of the day, why do she need to even really know deep down, like, what really happened between her mother and father relationship? It didn't work. It didn't work at all. But to tell her that he was taking care of a child that was not his and he knew it, like, what's the point? Like, what's the point? To me, that kind of make him look like a good person, because he know the child's not his and he's willing to take care of that child. Of course he didn't get a DNA test, because he know for sure that the child is not his. So why would he even like waste the court's time, and why would the courts waste their money requiring him to get a DNA test for that child? Also, if he lied about her mother not really wanting to be in her life and seeing her, he was the problem. He was the cause of the problem. And I feel like that if that mother feels like she just want to get the truth out to her daughter, know that she really loves her, like, get your truth out, because somebody else saying otherwise. And not only is they saying otherwise, but you not being there or fighting shows exactly what that person is saying about you. So that part, I understand why the mother is explaining why she wasn't there. But like all that other stuff about their relationship, him cheating and possibly have 2 other kids, like, she already got a lot of trauma from the dad putting his hands on her, showing like he really don't care, not looking out for her when it came to her high school graduation. All of the above is trauma to her, and adding onto it won't do her any good. I'm glad she's going to therapy, because this is a lot to take in, especially still at her young age. And if your stepmother don't want to save herself, baby, it's not your responsibility to save her. Like, obviously he been telling her stuff about your mother and his relationship and what occurred and what happened with other women. So she not leaving, she don't care. You don't need to save her, no matter how good she have been to you. Like, oh, I just pray for your healing on this journey, and people just need to stop adding more stuff to a fire that they not gonna be able to put out.
So like, I don't even know, wait a minute. Okay, so I don't even know where to like begin, because like ever since I've gotten this information, I have been trying to figure out what the fuck is real in my childhood and what the fuck wasn't, because I'm just lost at words right now. I literally cried maybe last night and the night before, because I'm like, wow, like my dad is really not my dad. Like my dad is really not the person he portrayed himself to be. And then on top of all of that, I started crying because I'm thinking like he's really going to die alone. He's going to die alone at this rate that he's moving. And of course, him being my primary parent, that hurts me. I don't want him to die alone. But also, these are literally the consequences of your actions. My stepmom been telling him, if you don't get your shit together, you're going to lose your family. You've already lost 1 daughter. Would you like to lose 2 more? And he would. He would like to lose his entire family if he could, because he does not want a family. So imagine how that makes me feel when...
But he can leave. He can literally leave. Like, I don't think the stepmother is holding him hostage. He's choosing to still be there. So obviously he don't want to lose his family, because if he did, he could just leave. Just that simple. I'm confused. Or if she really want to be out of it, she'll stop warning him and just do the thing that she really want to do, and that's leave.
When this entire time people have been telling me to just get over it, let it go, move on, when I knew something was not right. I knew something was not right, and my soul would not let that shit rest. I would cry countless times because I'm like, damn, like my mom really didn't want me. Like I could not wrap my head around the fact that this lady grew me in her stomach for 9 months and she just up and left. And she said that she never wanted a family and that she never loved us. And this entire time my dad's been projecting. He's been telling us how he feels, but is making it seem like that's how my mom felt.
Now I can see that, because just like some women is like petty, men are too. And I can see him probably just telling y'all that because he was bum hurt because your mother didn't want to put up with his shenanigans no more, and she fucking left. So now he trying to make her seem like the bad guy to you guys because that's what he thinking is in his head, but he really know the truth. He was playing fucking games and your mother was tired of it.
I don't even know what to fucking believe anymore. I don't know what to do. I have opened a can of worms for myself, and now I'm having to figure out how to fucking release the worms back into the soil, one by one, making sure they all make it back to where they were supposed to fucking be, instead of in that motherfucking can. And the can is so goddamn big that it's gonna take me forever to get all these worms back in the fucking ground. You catch what I'm saying? This is why when I have a family, there will be no secrets. There will be no nothing. It's going to be all laid out there on the table. Because why am I now just about to be 25 and I'm getting to know my mom's side of the family and getting to know my mom when she should have been there 25 years, when she should have been there 15 years ago? You know what I'm saying? My dad did all of this shit out of spite because he did not want. That's the thing with narcissists. They want to be seen as a perfect good guy, that they would never do anything wrong. But in reality, they're fucking crazy. And then he also tried to say, you're a narcissist, Nay. Like, that's what you are. You're a narcissist. You don't care about anybody but yourself. Once again, projecting, because I knew I wasn't a narcissist. I sat here and made sure my brothers and my sisters got up on time for school for a long amount of years while you worked overnight every single time and then came home. Which, now that I think about it, he chose that work schedule on purpose. Because he would go to work at like 10, work until 7 in the morning. From 7 till da-da-da-da, we're in school. When we get out of school, he is then, after we get out of school, he then either takes a nap and then sleeps all the way until it's time to go to work. So I only got to see my dad maybe 2 or 3 hours after I got home from school. That's not enough time to be bonding with your parent. And then on the weekends, when he didn't work, he was preoccupied with his car or just sat in the house all day. He didn't really do anything. Like, he didn't come to any of my color guard competitions. He didn't really show up and show out like he should have. He never even came to any elementary school award programs. There was my 5th grade year. I won so many awards and so many trophies and no one was there. And I noticed. I sat in the crowd and I thought about how nobody showed up for me. Nobody. I'm watching everybody else's parents congratulate their kids and love on them, and nobody was there. I remember riding home on the bus that day, and the bus driver like thanking me for, like, not thanking me, but just like being like, oh my God, like, you got so many awards, you're so smart, just giving me praise. And I just remember thinking, like, I was so done, you know. As a 5th grader, I was done. I had realized, like, that is when I stopped caring. That's when I dropped off the AV honor roll because nobody showed up for me. So when I started 6th grade, that's when I said, I don't give a fuck about my grades. And that's where me and my dad started to butt heads a lot, is when I started to not give a fuck about my education. Because I'm like, I'm doing all this hard ass work and not getting, nobody cares. Nobody cares that I'm working hard. Why the fuck am I working hard as a 5th grader? I could just be bullshit right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt. So that's when I fell off and stopped caring about school and stopped caring about doing schoolwork. And that went all the way to college. That went all the way to college. I stopped giving a fuck about the honor roll. Sometimes I wish I would have never opened this can of worms, because I don't like to have to see my dad in a different light, but this is what it is, and this is what I had to accept. So, yeah. So if anybody has any words of advice for me, because I'm gonna have to reach out to my therapist. 2, they're gonna have to up my doses of Lexapro. And 3, I don't know how to move forward with all of this information. And a part of me is mad that I didn't call the police when he had put his hands on me, because I could have prevented so much from happening right now. But had I did that, I wouldn't have my 3 siblings that I have now. And that's why I always say everything happens for a reason. And I think that's why sometimes I'm just like, okay, like you're mad about this, but this happened for a reason. Or you're talking about this, but this happened for a reason. All of this played out for a karmic reason. And thinking about it, I would hate to be him right now, because there's no way you're about damn near 50 thinking that karma isn't about to tear your ass up for jeopardizing so many lives in the process of you not wanting kids. You knew you did not want kids, and yet you proceeded to pop out 8. Excuse me, 7. I forget my sister. It's not yours. So, you knew you didn't want kids, and you fucked up so many lives in the process of it, just so you didn't look like the bad guy. Only to have your oldest daughter, who is defiant by all odds, to come out here and expose you for who you really are, which you are a sad and pathetic piece of a man. You have so much to say about all the niggas in the world who ain't acting right, when you're literally one of them not acting right. Because if you were, you would be taking care of your kids like you are supposed to. You would have moved them out of that mold infested house, black mold infested house, you would have moved them out of the apartment you've been in for 30 plus years, that has mold all throughout every single room and is infested, and the apartment caught on fire, and you still chose to stay there after the fire, knowing that you have a disabled kid and a pregnant wife. Then you say, oh, I'm investing my money in crypto, but you have no money to show for it. But you got so much to say about my credit and my money. And this may be dumb to say, but I would say you have them in that house so that the mold eventually fucks with them and they have to go in the hospital. Then you won't have to take care of nobody. When the solution to the problem is to divorce your wife and allow your family to have the life that they deserve, rather than bringing them down and keeping them in a depressive and dark state where eventually they have no choice but to leave, which in the end they may leave under the impression that they're going to do all right, and they're not, because they're delayed because you haven't been the parent that you were supposed to be. But let's talk about that in the next video. Let's talk about that topic.
Baby girl, you got so much trauma, and I just feel like a lot of your trauma is relevant, but a lot of it is irrelevant. Like, some of this stuff is not even your trauma. It's not. People are making choices around you and deciding if your dad is a shitty father, shitty husband, or whatever, to still stay. Like, they're choosing to still stay, and to me, that's not your trauma. There's their choice and their trauma, if it's trauma. And as far as you saying he should divorce his wife, if she's unhappy, baby, why you waiting on that man to divorce you? You divorce him. Because she also chooses to still stay in a black mold infested apartment that this man had for years, knowing that she have kids. She's still doing the same thing just like him. Like, all of this stuff you are saying, that wife is contributing also. Like, she's decided to still stay too, knowing she had 3 kids that need a better home to live in. I'm just saying, a lot of this trauma is not just your trauma. Like, people piling more stuff on you, and some of those people should just leave well enough alone. Like, you don't have, y'all, I don't care if your children are adults or not. My opinion, you don't have to like tell them every single drip dropping story about their parent. Some of the stuff don't even have anything to do with that child. What are you getting out of telling them that, oh, he decided to take care of a child that wasn't his? Like, I'm confused. Y'all like to dump so much trauma on these now adult children, and also they having trauma from their childhood, and it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard for them to get out of this stuff, and it'll be easy for people to go, oh, go to therapy, oh, do this and do that. They stuck, and more people adding more stuff cause them to be even deeper than what they are growing up. She had a lot of trauma, and a lot of that trauma is also trauma from other people. I'm just saying, like, what was the point of even telling her, oh, he had these many girlfriends? Oh, and he had one girlfriend for years and never married her. Like, what is the point of some of that stuff? She also have trauma with him putting his hands on her, not showing up for her graduations. And these are times and moments that children will never forget. Sir, why you don't make time to go and celebrate your children's achievements? They work hard, and most of the time they work hard to show their parents, not for themselves, to show their parents that they are capable, just to make their parents proud. And you don't even show up to that. It's crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about how you've delayed your kids, because now I'm mad because my brother, who is 28 or 29, I don't fucking know. He was born in 1998. I don't know fucking math. We stopped celebrating birthdays a long time ago because being Muslim, you don't celebrate holidays. And I'm gonna talk about that too, because I had like 2 people in my comments being super fucking butthurt, and I guess they didn't see my fucking comment. But let's talk about the fact that my brother's 28, and my brother graduated high school, and after high school he became the full-time caretaker of my disabled brother. I said one day, because I never cared about voicing my opinion, if shit don't look right, I'm gonna say something. I said, I don't think that is fair that KZ, which is my brother, KZ has to watch, he has to take care of my brother IQ when he wasn't the one that had him. He wasn't the one that, laid down in that bed and made him. And he deserves to.
And this literally goes back to the fact of me saying it's not just her father, his wife also. Is this the wife child too? Because if that brother having to step up, where's the wife? If the daddy not there, where's the parents?
To have a life outside of that. He didn't sign up to be his full-time caretaker. And everybody jumped down my throat like I said something terrible. When in reality, that's the motherfucking facts. He didn't lay down and have IQ, so therefore he shouldn't be required to be his full-time caretaker. He should be able to live his life. He's never had a girlfriend. He doesn't have his driver's license. He's never had a job. My worry is that they're not going to catch on to the social cues of today's world. People are mean. People are evil. People will take advantage of people. And if you aren't socially aware of your surroundings, or you just don't catch on to social cues, that is going to make it very hard for you to know when people are, trying to play you. And so that's my main concern. That's my main worry. So let's move on to my sister. My sister, who is 23, she's going to be 24 this year. She just got her first job at Walmart. She doesn't really know how hard it is to be out here on your own, and she wants so badly to be out of that house, and I want for her to be out of that house, and I want to help her get out of that house, but I don't have the financial means to do so. I don't have the mental state to do so. I don't even have the space to do so. I can't help her the way that I want to, but she's taking the steps to do so, which is going to work at Walmart. She doesn't have her license. She has her permit. She dropped out of school. Why did she drop out of school? It was her last year, her senior year. My dad let her drop out. Don't know why. Don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. So now she's working on getting her GED, which a GED will never replace a diploma. Everybody knows that, but that's better than nothing. So she's working at Walmart.
Let's be clear. Get that mindset out of, like, y'all get that mindset out of your head, because a high school diploma, yeah, it's good. It's good to have, good to get, but a GED is also. I know so many people with GEDs that's way farther in life, in their career, than people with a high school diploma. So let's get all that, oh, it's better to have a high school diploma instead of a GED. Like, it's something, but it's better. They can do the same exact things. Same exact thing. Go to a college, a technical college, get further in the career, get an associate's degree, a master's degree. GED can take you very far. Don't have people to tell you it's best to just get your high school diploma. Congratulations on your GED and your high school diploma and whatever else you achieve. Cause yeah, let's stop kind of slide downgrading GEDs now. I got my high school diploma, and folks with GEDs is way farther, baby, way farther.
She's got her GED. She's on track. She's not playing no games. She wants to get the hell up out of there. Okay? And I don't fucking blame her. But my sister is mentally delayed. Not as much as the average person, but as the average mentally delayed person, but she is. So there are she doesn't catch on to social cues really fast. And this is all due to my dad not being a fucking parent. And you're probably wondering, well, Nay, how are you so, because I didn't fucking listen. I never fucking listened. I always did what I wanted to do. Always. Even though I would get in trouble, I would still do what I want. Because in the end, I know the outcome is me getting in trouble. So I'm going to get in trouble, get it over with, and still continue to do me. So when that meant having friends, and that's another thing that I noticed. My dad hated when I started really bonding with people outside of the house. When I started like making friends and wanting to be out all the time, he fucking hated that shit. It really irritated his nerves that I would ask to go somewhere every day after school because I had friends. And so I really just evolved when I started, when I made friends. So when I made friends, that opened the doors for other activities at school. Like I started, gossiping and I started catching on to shit real quick. So yeah, I'm able to be out here and do whatever, and be perfectly fine. I know when someone's trying to play me and when someone's trying to, like, I have that life experience because I didn't let him deprive me of that. Like, you weren't going to deprive me of something that I am deserving of, which is what everybody's deserving of, which is living life and experiencing it. And they haven't been able to do that. And I fucking hate that. And you think I'm about to let 3 of my younger siblings go through that shit? Absolutely fucking not. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. He delayed 2 of his kids he delayed them from being the best versions of themselves that they could have possibly been at this age. So now half of my brother's 20s, or a third of his 20s, has been spent being a full-time caretaker for my brother when my dad should be doing that. My dad doesn't even take care of my brother anymore, my disabled brother. I mean, he was literally taking money from his checks and not using it for what it was supposed to be used for. My dad literally keeps going back to school online to have something to do so that he doesn't have to take care of his kids. So all of this information that I got, I will never reach out to my dad again. I will never shed another tear for him again. Because he didn't care. And that makes me think back to when I was like, oh, I'm going to kill myself. When I was in middle school and they made me go see a whole therapist and I couldn't come back to school until I did so. My dad was like, why would you say that? And I'm like, I mean, look at me. Look at people. Oh, they keep bullying me. And a sane parent would go down to the school and fucking cuss the school out. Because why would you say that my daughter did this and I know for a fact she didn't? But instead, he said, he was with the school system and was like, you don't need to be saying stuff like that because they're going to think you crazy and they're going to put you somewhere. So I don't need to be saying how I really fucking feel. I don't need to express chicken bothering me at school. And instead of being a parent, you tell me that I need to keep my fucking mouth shut and stop saying shit like that. And then you dive into the conversation of, well, you're pretty and you don't need to be thinking about what other people are saying. After saying shit like that, like that's supposed to make it sweet. No, I expect you to go down to the school and cuss them fucking people out. I didn't do that. And yeah, I am going to kill myself because these niggas keep bothering me. Maybe if I was gone, they wouldn't fucking bother me no more. They wouldn't have nobody to bother. So there's so many situations that I could bring up where my dad was being shown his true colors in the moment, but yeah. So the only thing I can say that my dad did was he kept a house above my head for a good amount of years and he made sure we was fed. But as far as anything else, he's a liar, he's a cheater, and he's a narcissist. And he's an Aries. So if you're a 20-year-old girl and 20-year-old or anywhere from 20 to 25, maybe even 26, I don't fucking know. But if you're young and you want to have your life taken care of and you run into a man who's almost 50 and he looked like me, but the boy version, I'm telling you, don't. Because he be commenting under women's thread posts and Twitter posts. And he's probably cyber cheating right now. My stepmom told me that he's changing up his wardrobe, which he does when he's about to find him a new prey. So be mindful, ladies. I told you. If he come up smooth talking, saying he could do this and that, baby, run the opposite direction, because he ain't. He not. And if you think I'm lying and you go through with it anyways, well, shit, that's on you. But no. He's literally just looking for an inmate, a live-in maid, so that he doesn't have to do what he's supposed to do. So, yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because this whole time I'm like, oh, I want to find someone like my dad. Fuck no. The minute I feel like I'm with someone that's going to be like my dad, I'm fucking leaving. My man better not ever show no traits or I'm leaving. I'm not playing no games. I refuse to go through that shit. But yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
That's really a lot. And I see her trauma. I see her hurt. I see her pain. And I also see other people putting stuff in the mix when she's already having trauma, regrets, sadness, and all this other stuff. Like, I feel like the people that she reached out to was her mother's side, which she did say that. And they telling whatever the mama done told them. Whatever the mama done told them, right? And then here comes the mama trying to defend herself on why she really was not there as a mother, right? Then you got the stepmother telling her dad in her private relationship business things that, I don't care if you're an adult or not, should not be discussed to someone's child, like y'all just friends. And that goes to show that the dad should never been messing with a younger woman than him, because eventually your adult daughter and her are going to become really close, especially if she haven't done anything over the years to hurt her. And she's going to talk about your relationship to your daughter. And now your daughter got all this information on how you truly is as a man, as a husband. The cheating and stuff is not her trauma, but it been put on her because two adult women decided to tell her stuff about her dad, not adding on to the trauma that she had with her dad, the experiences she had with her dad, the not showing up that her dad showed her. Some of this trauma ain't hers, but it's her dad. So, and it's being told to her. So this is becoming trauma, unfortunately. She is very hurt, and she has a right to be hurt. And I'm happy that she's getting the help that she needs, even though she feel like it's not enough. But baby girl, please forgive. It's not for him. It's not for your mother. It's not for your stepmother. It's for you. Trust me. Forgiving is for you. You're not going to heal until you learn to forgive and not let nobody else play in your face. You guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about this story. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to this channel. And if you are returning, I really appreciate you guys. Hype me up, like, and share this video. You guys, I do this because somebody else out there might relate to this. You get what I'm saying? They might be going through this same parent trauma and ain't going to therapy and want to know how other people are coping or just somebody else's story. That's why I do this. You guys, if you like this type of content, support me. Hype me up, share, and subscribe. I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.